Last summer, 12 passionate teens from all over the world came together for 10 days in Florida with Ocean Matters. Here we partnered with the Clearwater Marine Aquarium and the Coral Restoration Foundation to learn about marine mammal conservation as well as the challenges that our oceans face. And after gaining our scuba qualifications, we completed a coral restoration project in Key Largo. During the expedition, we worked with media professionals to create this ocean advocacy film in the hope of inspiring you to make a difference and to help save our oceans.
I think the ocean's always been a part of me, especially through my family and lots of people around me. It's just always been a special place. Whenever I go underwater, I feel free and peaceful.
Just swimming in the ocean is it's like you're introduced into a whole new world. It's so fragile and unique, and there's nothing like it. It just touches your heart like that.
Besides like the, hard to quantify emotional connection that you feel with the ocean when you're there, for so many people around the world, it's an important food source. Like, many people aren't fortunate enough to have a grocery store they can go to, have to live off the water. And even those who do are connected to the ocean in some way through the food we eat and the air we breathe.
The ocean was here before any of us were, so they deserve to have a nice place.
It is providing habitat for animals that tourists love, for animals that we love, for animals that we need.
The animals provide a lot of necessities and processes that humans utilize.
The ocean provides so much of the air we breathe and takes away the air we don't need to breathe. The phytoplankton put in oxygen and take away carbon dioxide.
Life originated in the ocean, and it's almost ironic how all of a sudden life is kind of turning on the ocean and destroying it.
As I got older and went more places and read more, I realized how much pressure the ocean was being put under by people and the environmental destruction our activities cause.
One species in the ocean goes extinct, then what feeds on it goes extinct, and all up the line until we stop getting resources from the ocean and everything we take for granted on land starts to fall apart.
We've all made mistakes. Mistakes that we can recover from, mistakes that are too late to overturn. Mistakes that some of us wish we hadn't. Mistakes that hurt the ocean, such as littering. We've all done it, I've done it. I can remember a specific time actually. Spitting gum out the window, it doesn't taste good anymore.
The biggest thing harming the ocean is us.
People that are not educated about the issues that are going on.
I'd say one of the biggest ones that we have at the moment is pollution.
Pollution.
It's getting really bad. Like, even right now I see cigarette butts laying on the ground.
Plastic being mistaken for the food that a lot of the animals in the ocean eat is also a big threat because it doesn't digest and it kills the animals. You also have the threat of climate change and warming temperatures, which contributes to a lot of the problems that the marine life and marine ecosystems are going through today. Coral bleaching is a huge problem, and that's something that's going to impact our whole environment through the fish that live there and all the animals that call it home.
When turtles come to the beach, they nest in the beach and their babies hatch, and they go straight for the horizon where they see all the light. Buildings, homes that put off light distract the turtles, and that's how they can get killed, and that's how they can miss the ocean.
In my lifetime, the ocean has changed in so many different ways. I've seen the collapse of fish stocks, the arrival of invasive species like lionfish that will consume in a single day many times their own body weight and have a tremendous impact on native species. Nutrient loading, and these nutrients that go into the ocean, what they do is they help to feed harmful algal blooms and cyanobacteria and sargassum and red tide. And red tide is toxic to fish and manatees and seabirds and dolphins.
Runoff and things that are just being put into the ocean even on accident or on purpose. So like chemicals from factories, just runoff from your driveway, like the fertilizers that are bad for the environment.
Everything somehow makes its way into the ocean.
One of the biggest threats, I think, is that people, they're recognising that we are damaging the ocean, like plastic pollution and global warming, but they're not actually doing anything to change that. They're just recognising it and not adjusting to new situations, like changing your diet or going to beach cleanups, and they're not actually taking part to help make the solution.
But you know, the thing is, these are all either directly or indirectly human related. And it's something that's fixable, something we can do, we can take actions to do something about.
I think the simplest thing that people can do at the moment that doesn't take a lot of energy would just be to focus on what you're doing and what you're throwing away.
Using cloth or cotton or paper bags instead of plastic bags, and just like picking up trash that you see on the road or on the sidewalks that you travel every day.
Well, there's two main ways which you can do to make a difference. That is, number one is like by educating other people, telling your friends, and another way is actually doing something yourself, like going to beach cleanups, changing diets.
Go on trips like this and just even join small groups in the community to help advocate for the change of the ocean.
Start something at your school, talk to your friends about something, get involved in a program that's helping save our oceans. Just the little things count.
At Clearwater Marine Aquarium, we very often have interns, and I would encourage you to apply, because not only is it an opportunity for you to learn, but myself as a scientist, every single intern I've had, I've learned so much from them, and it's a great opportunity for this engagement and this crossing and integration of information.
I believe that educating the younger populations is very, very important because they are the future, and the future has to be aware of these things.
Raising awareness, because I myself am one person and can't do it alone. So I believe spreading the word would help make even a bigger difference than me myself, because having just one person isn't enough. It's not, yeah, it takes everyone to do it.
Definitely trying to find ways to help the ocean with coral reef restoration and being able to replace those reefs that have been destroyed through ocean acidification, which is when the ocean becomes warmer through climate change or other means and takes in carbon dioxide, which becomes acid and kills the very sensitive and fragile reefs.
I've pulled off a lot of fishing line from different trees.
There are many impacts to reef. One of them is a direct human impact, such as divers that don't know what they're doing and knock things over, or boats going over the top. We also learned about the reef-safe sunscreen and how these chemicals are preventing the reproduction of many different corals.
Being really conscious about what sunscreen you are using, and always check to make sure that it is a mineral-based sunscreen, so looking for things that are like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. That's going to be safe for the reef itself, and again looking out for oxybenzone, octanaceae, and avobenzone. Those are the big three that we want to avoid. Just always double checking your sunscreen if it does say reef safe, because most places will advertise it as reef safe, and you go to use it, it may not have oxybenzone, but it still has avo and octanaceae in it.
So this app is called OK Coral, and by playing this app you will learn how to tell the difference between the two main species that we work with, how to identify living and dead coral, and what fused and not fused corals look like. That's dead, that's alive, alive, dead.
Our goal is 290 outplanted elkhorn today, okay? So it's a pretty big goal. But what I didn't tell you yesterday that's very cool is that every year, like I said, we put down around 1,000 staghorn, 1,000 elkhorn on every single one of those reefs. This is the last 290 elkhorn that had to go on this reef. So you guys get to finish the reef for the year.
So those things, they come into an ecosystem first, and like grass, they lay the roots into the ground, and then other things start to come in and build onto it.
on the trees yesterday, and part of the job was taking the chisel and scraping off the PVC pipe, like all the algae and fire coral and just dead sediments. And then today we are going to plant the coral into a reef so then it can grow and hopefully more life will come.
Good workers.
My favorite part is collecting data for the Clearwater Aquarium for populations of pinfish, pigfish, and other things. And if those fish are there, it attracts bigger fish or dolphins or manatees.
All right, as soon as you reach the bottom, you're good to go.
My favorite thing was seeing the sea turtle actually nest its own eggs and cover them up. It's a neat process. The way that they do it, they like spread like the sand all around in a huge circle, so like predators don't know where their eggs actually are. My favorite part had to be the turtle laying the eggs. I thought that was really cool because when I go to college, I want to specialize in turtle rehabilitation, and I'd like to work in a surgical suite one day working on the animals that have been impacted, specifically the turtles. So the turtle is my favorite animal, and that was just really special to me, especially since I've never seen a wild sea turtle.
My favorite marine mammal is the manatee, and I actually learned this weekend while we were snorkeling with them that the breastfeeding pouches that the mothers carry are in the armpits. And I thought that was really cool because we saw the pup manatee swimming around and sucking on its mama's armpits.
You're able to dive in there and you see how it's like us in so many ways.
When the people lived here, they mostly farmed out these little settlements, and they used like canoes made from this kind of wood, which is cypress.
My favorite part was actually like scuba diving for like in the saltwater for the first time. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's amazing diving into the ocean and seeing like how all the different pieces are connected and the different lives they lead.
Scuba diving, yeah, that really impacted me.
Yeah.
When I first got off the boat and saw all the coral and fishes, they were so colorful, and it's different because in pictures, you know, it's not the same as seeing it in person.
It really made me fall in love with the ocean, actually being able to see like all the ocean life actually come to life.
The ocean needs to be saved. It's like a domino effect. If you knock over one domino, they all get knocked down. Take out one animal, everything gets ruined.
Push for changes and push for more sustainable efforts so that we can have a better world and an existing world for future generations.
Just because we don't live in the ocean doesn't mean that we shouldn't respect it as much as we do with our own land, but it is important because it provides us with more than half of our oxygen, and a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that it's important for our survival.
Respect starts with your ethics, which are little things with you. And the respect that you're trying to get is respect for the ocean.
Usually when people know how the things they do affect the world, they'll rethink it.
My parents, They're like, you need to be the generation of superheroes that can save the world.
Ocean Matters is an amazing program where they're working to help save our oceans every day. And by getting involved in this, you're both supporting this program to continue their actions, and you're actually helping save the ocean yourself. So if you can't figure out something to do at home, well then join Ocean Matters and you can do something out in the oceans.
The many issues facing our oceans can feel discouraging, but these challenges provide opportunity for us to come together in inspiring and hopeful ways. To learn more about how to get involved in saving our seas, visit our website, oceanmatters.org. We encourage everyone to engage in practices and projects that protect our oceans, because the ocean affects all of us. No matter where we live, we are all Team Ocean.
Our parents and ancestors messed up this planet, and now we're the ones who have to fix everything.